Hello, I'm Brian Smith with the Tennant Company, and I'm here to show you the proper startup, use, and end-of-shift steps for your Tennant T600 and T600E walk-behind scrubber. Our lawyers wanted me to remind you that while this video will cover the basics, it's your responsibility to read and fully understand the operator's manual and safety labels before using the machine. Now, let's get started. Remember, before you do any inspecting, setup, cleaning, or other maintenance, be sure the unit is keyed off. First, let's fill up the solution tank. As I've been told, this is helpful for effective cleaning. Uncap the fill port at the rear of the machine here and insert the hose into the retainer. The retainer will hold most hoses in place. If your machine is equipped with autofill, connect the quick disconnect autofill coupler to the water supply hose and connect the nipple to the fitting on the machine until it clicks. To prevent the hose from being pulled out while the tank is being filled, turn the coupler clockwise to lock the connection. When finished, turn the coupler counterclockwise to unlock. As you fill the tank, keep an eye on this clear tube to see when it's time to turn off the hose. Once it's full, just screw the cap back on. If you're using any added detergent, be sure to follow the instructions on the product container or dispenser for proper dilution and handling. If, on the other hand, you're using Tennant's EC water system, just make sure the solution tank is emptied and rinsed of any added detergents prior to filling with plain tap water. While we're at it, it's also a good idea to verify that your recovery tank is empty. Using quality Tennant True brushes or pads and squeegee blades in good condition helps your machine perform at its best. The pad drivers or brushes should normally be off the machine due to the end-of-shift maintenance, but it's always a good idea to check. With the head raised, to remove the pad drivers or brushes on a disc machine, step on the yellow pad release plunger. Next, we need to check the pad driver and pads. Flip or replace pads as appropriate. Place the pad on the center of the pad driver and secure pad with the center lock. Flip the pad driver over and set the yellow spring clip to the open position to make installation easier. Press the spring clip together and downward to set. Align the pad driver under the motor. Push upward to ensure it's securely mounted onto the motor hub. If you use a brush, make sure to inspect and clean it by removing any debris caught in the bristles and spraying it down. The brush should be replaced if the yellow wear indicator is the same length as the other bristles. If your machine is a cylindrical unit, you'll want to inspect, clean, and rotate the brushes as well. To check the brush on a cylindrical unit, unfasten the yellow latch and remove the idler plate from the scrub head and pull the brush out. Remove debris buildup from the underside of the scrub head, including the idler plate. To reattach the brush, make sure to place the double row of bristles to the idler plate. Guide the brush onto the drive hub and refasten the yellow latch. If you have an orbital machine, the first step is to make sure you have two pads, a backer pad, one that will be protecting your pad driver face, and the working pad. The backer pad will have hook and loop strips to help hold the working pad to the machine. With the back pad hook and loop strips facing you, add the working pad. This should now be a floor pad sandwich. There's not enough barbecue sauce in the world to make this sandwich taste good though. The key to great water pickup is a properly functioning squeegee. The first step is to remove the squeegee assembly from the machine. With the squeegee assembly raised, disconnect the squeegee recovery hose from the squeegee assembly and unscrew the center yellow star knobs. With the squeegee assembly off the machine, first check for any sharp objects embedded in the squeegee, then use a damp cloth to wipe down the squeegee blades assembly. With the squeegee clean, you can now inspect the squeegee blades for wear or damage. If the squeegee blades show signs of wear or damage, it's time to rotate or replace them. A sure sign that the blades need to be replaced or flipped is when they are worn about halfway through the thickness of the blade. To remove the blades from the assembly, first loosen the star knobs while compressing the assembly. This will separate the spring-loaded blade retainer from the squeegee frame. Now you can peel off the squeegee blades. To attach the squeegee blades to the frame, align the slots of the blades to the retainer tabs and press the blades in place. With the blades attached to the retainer tabs, you can now compress the springs and tighten the yellow star knobs. Now, let's mount the squeegee assembly to the squeegee mounting bracket. Tighten the yellow star knobs to secure the squeegee assembly to the bracket. Connect the vacuum hose to the squeegee. You will also want to make sure your batteries are charged. We have found through extensive testing and market research that scrubbers with dead batteries are a lot less effective than those with charged ones. So that's good to know. The charge level will be noted by the battery discharge indicator located here on the T600 Pro membrane panel and here on the LCD Pro panel, and finally here on the T600E panel. When all the lights are illuminated, the batteries are fully charged. Or, another way to confirm the batteries are fully charged is when all 5 indicator lights repeatedly flash 2 times. Once it is fully charged, go ahead and unplug the cord and wrap it around the cord hooks. Don't forget to maximize the runtime and life of the batteries. Make sure the batteries are completely charged before using the machine. If you find you need to charge your batteries or want to charge them at the end of a shift, remove the charger cord and plug it into an outlet. Don't be that guy who always forgets to charge the batteries after the shift. Not awesome at all. Make sure not to interrupt the charge midway. Wait for the charging process to be complete. We know keeping batteries well maintained is critical to ensuring they perform at their best and last as long as possible. For traditional lead-acid batteries, we recommend checking the battery distilled water levels on at least a weekly basis. The battery is properly filled when the water covers the plates inside the battery. Be careful not to overfill the batteries. If your machine is equipped with the optional SmartFill automatic battery watering system, you are in luck because all you have to do is make sure the SmartFill tank has distilled water in it. When you see this warning icon on your control panel, it's time to fill the tank. Just grab a small funnel and your distilled water. Fill the tank until it's full, and that's all there is to it. If your machine also has severe environment on it, make sure you're filling the correct tank though. We'll talk more about that in a minute. If for some reason there's water or liquid in the battery compartment, you can drain it by using this tube.